Now, Chevy has just decided to go and make a hypercar. No big deal. Now, I'm talking about the Corvette ZR1X. That's gonna be a bit difficult to remember, I think, with all the letters. Anyway, this is basically the ZR1, which has the hybrid system from the E-Ray, and combined with that, it's gonna put out 1250 horsepower. Now, I'm sure there's some other technical modifications that have been made to the car to make it more sustainable and all that. But basically, it's a Corvette hypercar. A Corvette is now a hypercar, and which is kind of funny considering that there's a version of the Corvette that has much lower number of horsepower. And basically, there are how many versions of the Corvette now? Counting this, well, there's the regular Corvette, then the I don't know, 5 or something. I keep spacing out of the names. But yeah, for the Corvette has now become a hypercar in one generation. It went from a supercar to a hypercar, and it became a hybrid in between. Now, apparently this car is gonna be, the pricing isn't, I don't think the pricing is announced, but it's apparently gonna be rumored to be roughly around $200,000, and a bit about $200,000, and that's a huge bargain when you think about hypercars. Now, before, there was some problems with the Corvette being overpriced because of the limit stock, and it was reaching the territory of the other supercars. But now this looks like a proper hypercar on a bargain. I mean, 250 horsepower, that's hypercar territory in terms of power. And the Corvette already drives really well. It's really well built. So there's nothing you can say that doesn't make it a hypercar. Now, I don't know what the materials on this car are going to be like. Probably similar. And the only thing you can honestly use to differentiate it from the hypercars is the build materials and the really advanced stuff that normal cars don't get. But the core of what people like about hypercars, this car now has a lot of horsepower. It drives really well. It looks like it doesn't look like a hypercar, but it looks like a proper supercar. And this is honestly refreshing because the price of these hypercars are insane. I mean, they go up from anywhere from 1 million upwards to 3 million, 6 million, 5 million. I mean, that's a lot of money just to spend on a car. And yes, a lot of these cars do hold their value, but still, you have to be able to spend that kind of money. And how many people can actually afford to buy it? But a $250,000 hypercar, that's reasonable in this day and age. That's way cheaper than most hypercars. And it's a good opportunity for people who want to have some of the hypercar experience, but they can actually afford to buy the car. I mean, this is the same story when the C8 Corvette ZR1X came out. That was a proper supercar on a budget. Now, I think those cars also went up in price because the stock limitations. And I don't know what's going to happen. This car, the price might end up going up and maybe even doubling it. But even at double the price, it still seems reasonable compared to the competition. And this honestly highlights a bigger issue with these hypercars being so expensive. Now, we don't know how the Corvette ZR1X is going to be like, and the ZR1X is going to be like till it actually comes out. But if it comes out and it drives as well as these hypercars, or just close enough to almost 80% as well as these hypercars, at that price point, then people are going to have to start wondering, are these hypercars really worth the money? I mean, the reason these hypercars are supposedly expensive is because a lot of research and development that went into and a limited number of production, and because of that, and they need to be this expensive. But I mean, Chevy, the Corvettes basically, well, the Corvette has more numbers, but a lot of R&D did go into making that car as well. And even and it makes us wonder, how much are we actually paying for these hypercars now? Even the service costs and the repair costs and spare parts costs of these cars are insane. A lot of money. I mean, I heard rumors that the LaFerrari, when the hybrid system's battery fails, to get a replacement battery, you had to pay $100,000. $100,000 that you can buy a proper SUV with that money in the US, but you're gonna have to pay that money for a battery, and it's probably not even that big of a battery, considering that it's not a full hybrid. It just helps the ICE engine. So yeah, the Corvette is becoming a hypercar, and I honestly hope this brings in a new era of hypercars that are actually affordable and not ridiculously priced. I mean, come on, there's a hypercar that's $6 million. $6 million for one car. That's ridiculous. And honestly, who would, even the people who can afford those cars, how would they even take those cars out, being afraid of someone hitting it, or someone stealing it, or something like that? There's so many risks involved with the car. Like, you can't even let anyone you know really well, even your family member or a close friend, borrow it because of the fears of the price. I mean, it's basically unusable at that point when it's that ridiculously expensive. And I get it, it's rare and it holds value, but I mean, I personally feel like these cars should be driven. Now, after a certain amount of years, when it gets really old, fine, don't drive it, it'll break and it's a lot of issues. But when you're spending that kind of money, don't you want to be able to drive the car? And I honestly don't feel like the hypercar owners would actually want to freely drive the car, because they have to always think about all these issues. Whereas the Corvette, if it's $250,000, I don't think people will be too concerned. They'll use it a lot, and we're gonna see. And unless even the price jacks up by double, I think it'll still be used a lot. So yeah, this is really exciting news, and there's now a 1250 horsepower Corvette. That's shocking to think about, where the Corvette has come from and where it is right now. So yeah, this is awesome.